Hello everyone out there. Welcome back one more time, one more week, one more time here on Facebook Live. I am Dr. Kyle Duryea. We're at Simply Health Chiropractic.
And I am Dr. Aaron at Simply Health Chiropractic. Kind of funny we're in the same place.
Yeah, all the time. It's kind of funny. And we're at Simply Health Chiropractic in St. George, Utah.
St. George, Utah.
Yeah, we're upper cervical chiropractors who like to talk about stuff and other stuff. And today we were supposed to have a guest today. Brent Timus with Farm Bureau
Financial
Services. Thank you. But unfortunately, he had another engagement.
That came up.
Yeah, came up suddenly, and so we wish him the best for this week. He's going to be on with us next week. Yeah, so that's fantastic. Well, so we had to switch our topics today, and if you are tuning in or have tuned in or will tune in, I don't know if, anyway.
Or watch us at a later time.
Yeah. Just know that Brent will be on our next video, and not this video, but there's some great stuff we got for you today.
Right.
Got a little bit of concern going on.
Yeah, I think we talk about usually upper cervical and how upper cervical helps you heal and function the way you're supposed to.
Yeah. But
something that's a topic we've been talking a lot about in the office isn't really upper cervical based, but it's more health based.
Right.
Because we all have these little guys right here, our computer in front of us, our camera, every wiring through the house,
right,
are emitting EMF fields.
Right. So electromagnetic fields are all around us now, especially with the technology we have.
Yes. And so we were talking about that. Dr. Duryea has more information on that than I do because I'm just new to knowing this, I'm being bombarded with these signals. And
the whole EMF idea.
Right.
Well, even quite a few years ago, I would say even close to probably the 40s and 50s, we've known that electromagnetic fields have some, let's say, power to them.
Right.
So, when nuclear fission started, when other things were going on, when X-rays were getting started, we were starting to figure out that these invisible rays and these invisible fields were affecting our health in certain ways.
Right. And even back in the 50s, there weren't as many.
No.
But, and of course, over time, when they first made these things, I'm sure they were emitting a lot more they didn't know about. But as we learned about it, they do things to help minimize the amount of those EMF waves that are traveling through the air.
Yeah, we learned a lot about shielding and trying to protect those things from traveling all sorts of places. But nowadays we have things like Wi-Fi and Bluetooth and just your cell signal itself and all sorts of stuff that emit these electromagnetic fields. Your microwave, when it's turned on, is a huge emitter. Right. Your fridge, your freezer, even the wires in our walls have this little electromagnetic field that they are emitting. And sometimes, depending on the person, you may or may not know that you may be sensitive to electromagnetic fields.
One of the things when I first started here, we were talking about lights and the use of LED lights as opposed to the incandescent or the fluorescent lights that people have in their homes.
Right.
Because those waves constantly bombarding you, even though they give you light so you can see, can affect some people more than others, but I think it affects everybody, right? Just differently.
Well, we've seen that with fluorescent and compact fluorescent lighting, especially, and they're not just a biohazard when they drop on the ground because they have mercury in them, but they do have that wavelength. Even LED lights, got to be careful because even at certain frequencies, they can be irritating to our systems, eyes, even brain, or even nervous system tissues.
And that's that blue light people talk about, like the cell phones.
Yeah, there is a blue light, so that is one of the frequencies. But even LED lights have a light frequency. I believe it's over 2,700 lumens, or to that effect. Can be harmful or irritating for people. So when you're looking even to buy light bulbs,
right,
it can be you're just thinking you're buying light bulbs, but be careful about what you're buying because they can be irritating.
Right.
So that's one of the things we're talking about. One of the big ideas, of course, is that kids now are walking around with devices.
Right.
iPods, iPhones, well, just phones in general.
Right.
I know not to target a specific brand, but just cell phones in general,
Right.
even headphones have a small electromagnetic field in them, and they got Bluetooth signals. We don't even know what the effect Bluetooth has on mentality or health,
Right.
cellular regeneration, all sorts of stuff.
Right. And we're not saying that these are causing a ton of caveat of issues, but there's still studies being done to figure out these things, and we may not even know for sure until years from now.
Yeah, I think that's what we're saying is we just don't know.
Right.
What we do know, though, is some people are being affected because they're more sensitive to how they're being affected with those.
And so probably the question people are asking now is, what can we do to
Right.
limit the amount of these waves?
Well, there are devices out there.
Right.
So there are some devices. You can think about it like positive and negative electrons. So most radiations that are emit, they inspire positive fields. Okay, so you can think of like free radicals. They usually have a positive charge with them, and they can wreak some pretty good devastating effects on the body, on other systems. And so if we can get a negative field in there to neutralize those fields, then we can reduce the amount of radiation. So the measurement that we use for radiation is usually Gauss, Gauss. At Gauss. So like your cell phone can be emitting anywhere between 200 to 2,000 Gauss.
Right.
I mean, that's a lot. That's a microwave turned on in your head inside. That's a lot of, we got kids walking around like this with, 200, 2,000 Gauss coming. I don't want to be scared. I don't want people thinking this is scary. It is scary, but not. There's ways to get around this. There's ways to limit the exposure. So there's some devices. So one of the devices we found was the cation shield.
The cation shield.
Yeah, and that makes sense, right? Cation means positive charge.
Right.
Anion means negative charge, right? So if you're emitting negative electrons, you're gonna negate positive ones. So I'll just show you on my device. We have one here. So here's my cell phone, and I'm gonna bring that up to the camera a little bit. But that little dot right there, right in the middle, that little blue dot.
And you have that right on your phone, right?
Yeah, it's on. It doesn't have to be on the phone, but I didn't like the bump, so I drilled a hole in my case, right? And I stuck it in there. And my girls actually, they didn't want to see it, so I drilled a hole underneath, and they put their flippity bloppers here, right, on there. And my kids were cute when they were young. They flip-flops, they called them blip blops. I loved it. It was so cute. Mom, I need my blip blops. It was so great. Anyway, so this little button emits about, 200 to 2,000 negative Gauss. Okay, so it's negating it. But what it does is it neutralizes the wavelengths of the positive radiation. Okay,
Right.
so it brings it down to a very manageable 200, 400 Gauss, right? Rather than 2,000.
Right.
So that's awesome. So I can, I walk around with my cell phone, and I'm thinking, okay, I gotta be a little careful. The recommendation is to hold your cell phone 10 inches away from your body to use it, right? So if you're on speakerphone and stuff, that's tough. Or you want to look at some. But here's the trick, Dr. Aaron. I'm still touching it.
Right.
I mean, it's away from my body. I think that's the thing they're gonna say.
So we almost have to treat our phones like the Grinch.
Maybe they should make a hat, put a little fishing wire there.
Hey, don't tell people your ideas. You can make a
I
lot
just
like
patented
that.
that. I just patented that.
Patented.
I just patented that. Anyway, there are other devices out there, and you can find them on the internet. I'm going to put a link for this guy in the comments so that people are interested. They can go and find this. There's even other devices. The same company that makes this also makes what's called a PEM emitter.
Right.
It emits 10,000 negative Gauss.
My question is, things will deteriorate over time. So how long does the button last?
So yeah, depending on your product, this little button works anywhere between 3 and 9 months ish.
Okay.
So it just depends on what kind of phone you have and stuff. And you want to think about it like it has a maximum value. It never really truly loses the ability to emit. negative ions. But as it continues to work,
Right.
yeah, it kind of deteriorates over time, and it's just a little bit rather than a very strong. I just put this one on. I'm actually even thinking, and I'll say this, I'm thinking about putting 2 on here, just so I can really maximize the amount of radiation that I'm decreasing.
Right.
And all my kids have one on there. My wife has one on there on her phone, and is it making a difference? I don't have a measurement for that. But here's one thing I can tell you. When my phone used to ring, it would vibrate. I have it set on vibrate.
Right.
Okay? And even though it's 2 feet away from me, there are more than many times I said, I think I'm getting a phone call.
And you tend to be someone that's a little more sensitive to these things.
I am a little more sensitive, especially the light frequencies. I'm a little more sensitive to them. But here's another fun thing. My leg would actually vibrate when a phone call came in. And my phone wasn't in my pocket.
Right. I get those as well. And so talking about this, I haven't put one on my phone yet, but I tend to put it in one place now and leave it there.
Right.
And if I miss a phone call, I don't worry too much about it. I can always call them back, right?
You can always call people back. Hopefully not an emergency. I think that's where we're always waiting. Oh, it's got to be an emergency. Well, maybe it's not.
And before I started doing that, I would always fill my pockets because I felt like someone was calling me.
Right. So maybe we're a little more sensitive than we think we are.
Right.
And our muscles and body tissues get connected to those wavelengths. And maybe there's a wavelength coming through that we don't know, because it happens, right?
And something people are finding out now more, I'm going to use the word cancers, associated possibly with the use of phones because of where people place them.
Well, and there's now studies, there have been x-rays, MRIs, even those types of studies where they are seeing, people putting their phone into their bra, into their undergarments or whatever, and they see on the x-ray the outline, the cancer outlines basically where that was.
Wow.
And they're seeing it in the pocket, in the legs. There's a cancer there, or things like that. So they do make bags. They do make things with what's called an RF blocker or EMF blocker, stuff that you can get. Even clothes that have blocking. I'm just highlighting this right now because it's on my phone. I can show you that right now.
Right.
And I can give you a link for that.
Can you put aluminum foil over things to block it?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Yes, you can. Aluminum foil can act as a retarder for EMF fields. It's not going to stop, just like this isn't stopping it. It's just minimizing the radiation value that's coming off of this thing. I can still make phone calls and texts just like normal. Mm-hmm. It's not stopping those from happening, but it is decreasing the amount of radiation that's occurring when there's, that signal is going out.
Yeah. And we did something kind of fun today.
We did.
I don't know how scientific it was.
Probably not very, but...
But we were messing around. We're like, how can we test to see the effects of... Because I don't have one on my phone. Dr. Duryea has one on his phone. And so we're like, what if we have a little pulse ox meter to test our pulse and our oxygen that we have in our body. So we were messing around, and we put it on our finger, and we made a phone call to each other. So we were wasting our minutes.
Yeah, we made a phone call, so we're a live phone call.
Back and forth. And so before we started, we took a baseline, figured out where we were before. So
our heart rate,
our pulse. And then we first started putting it on our hands, and we weren't noticing a big change.
Right, yeah, we put it out here.
And then we're like, well, let's try putting it on your heart. And we put it on our heart. And it went up by about 4 to 5 points.
So let's clarify that. When we put your cell phone that's not blocked on next to the heart rate went up.
Right.
It wasn't much. It was, 5, 6 beats per minute. But that can be a lot.
That can be a lot, especially over time. And then we took it off, put your phone, and there wasn't much of a change because there's always that fluctuation of the heartbeat. And so there wasn't that big jump, that 5 to 6 we saw before.
Yeah, it was. In fact, it stayed right on that average where it was going. But then we would switch back. Oh, I'm scared to do it now. Right? And the heart rate would increase again.
Right.
To a point where it leveled off and then goes up. So, how scientific is that? I don't know. Somebody go do a study on that maybe. But I thought that was interesting.
Because even we even did it with you, and and I had my eyes open, so maybe that was a causal effect, and then
I did it with my eyes closed.
You did it with your eyes closed, and made sure we weren't touching the skin, so you couldn't feel the size of the phone, and you as well had the same effect on you as well. So it's kind of not super scientific, I guess. We need like 30 more people to do it with, but anyway, we just wanted to today just say, hey, there is such a thing as EMF fields. They're out there, and are they affecting you? Maybe invisibly, maybe it doesn't matter for 40 years, but in 40 years, would you wish, you look back and gosh, I wish I didn't have that microwave oven next to my head for 40 years, right?
Or whatever it is.
Because you can even look at the fact of cigarette smoking. Beginning, they really didn't know the effect, but now they do, and now there's all these warnings.
They used to say it was healthy.
Right. So
totally healthy to smoke. Not so much anymore. We know that the science is sound on that one. And who cares about the science?
Right.
We just know it's not healthy.
Right. And so, in maybe 5, 10 years, we'll probably start getting more results of people going, what effects do these EMF fields have on people?
Yeah.
And what can we do more to help limit them?
Well, I'm pretty sure we will, and but here's the thing: even if you are having effects or you feel like you're being affected, there is a way to accelerate healing, and then this is our plug now for upper cervical care. Because if you haven't been using the blocker, the RF blockers, then come in, let's get checked, let's get you healing the way you're supposed to. We have plenty of clients who just come in to get checked to make sure they are doing and healing the way creation intended them to do and heal, so that they can have optimum health.
Right.
Have the quality of life. Because, you may be living life, but quality of life. Right. That's what we're talking about. That's why we're saying block these things, get some good upper cervical care, improve the quality of your life. Right. And that's what upper cervical is really good for doing. So, let's see. Phone number? Oh, do you have a comment?
Oh, I was just going to say, just another thing to help, because most people are worried about what they take into their body, and that's through eating. But, these are things that you be standing by someone with a cell phone, and you think, oh, I don't have a cell phone, but your friend beside you has a cell phone. And it's going to affect you the same way. So just some knowledge to help people understand more of how they can protect themselves and how to make themselves more healthy, because, we're in it for the long haul, right?
Yeah. Well, as long as that's haul is anyway.
Right.
100 years to live maybe on average. So, make it the best you can. Go from there. And, maybe just one more small point. There's lots of different RSP. We have these on other devices as well. I think I'm going to get one for my microwave. Seriously, I'm going to put one on there. And, but, on our mobile devices, the refrigerator, they can all use a little RF blocking and keep our homes a little less frog. I even have one on my Wi-Fi router. It doesn't hurt our Wi-Fi.
Right.
But the router itself does actually emit quite a bit of radiation.
Right. So again, if you have any questions about upper cervical, or even where you can find these and if you have questions, leave them in the comments.
Yeah.
Shoot us a message. Or you can even call the office. Our phone number is 435-688-0444, 435-688-0444. You can find us on the internet at simplyhealthchiropractic.com.
That's right.
And if you are looking for an upper cervical chiropractor in your area, you can go to blairchiropractic.com and look for a doctor that does a technique that we do here. We love that site. We love the Blair guys. Or you can't find a Blair chiropractor, you can always go to upcspine.org.com and search for a chiropractor in your area. Even if you're watching this in another country, they do have other countries as well. Yeah. So you can find one closer to you. We use it all the time, especially when people are traveling to another area and we can't find a Blair chiropractor, because sometimes they show up. Or someone who knows how to do that. So
thank you very much for watching. We hope you have a safe and wonderful day. And next week, we'll have Brent Hymas with us talking a little bit about insurance and personal injury and how to take advantage of that.
Take advantage of it when the need is there.
And when the need is there. Cool. Thank you very much for listening. And
have a good week.
Have a good week. Bye-bye.